morally ambiguous decisions as a police officer, and there may be repercussions. I don't, she's lied. I find that fascinating.
Mm-hmm. She's certainly a flawed character because all the characters are I hope, sort of true to life in the sense that they're a mixture of the good and the less good. But she's, her determination, her focus, her sense of her mission are all fantastic, I think. But it's a debacle at the end of series 2 in the forest, to be fair. And there will be, as Gillian suggests, it will be debated, it will be unpacked in some kind of way in the 3rd season.
I think if she had ended up sleeping with Archie Punjabi's character, I think that probably would have been a mistake.
She was from Croydon, so that wasn't going to happen. I'm from Croydon, you need to understand.
Gillian and I are sparring partners. We discussed two years ago, and you did say when you first read Alan's script, you thought, yes, this is a woman I'd like to see out there in the popular culture now. She's the kind of woman the culture right now needs. Do you think she has got out there as that kind of role model figure?
I do. Yeah, I do. Thanks to Alan. I think that. Well, first of all, certainly in terms of police force, I think there's been a few stories as of late where women in high positions in police have been undermined by fellow police officers, and in that respect. But also she's so comfortable with who she is as a woman, and answers to no one, is uncompromising, and I think she is. I don't know if I've ever met anybody quite like her. I wish I was her.
Do you?
There are lots of aspects of her that are not me, that would be fun and interesting to spend more time with, or to adopt in some way.
Of course, we don't know about her home life, do we? She's been transported to these other cities.
Yeah. What do you think it is?
What do you think it is? Do you have a backstory for it?
Yeah, but I actually think it's more interesting not to know. A lot more interesting. And we learn a little bit more about her in series 3.
We do, yeah. I mean, I made a conscious decision in the first place, because it felt to me that a lot of TV detectives particularly, but TV characters created for TV, have a whole series of character traits and tics and things that they're presented up front, so they're often drunks, or they have they've had a case that's gone wrong, or they have a difficult marriage, or a difficult daughter.
Dirty raincoat.
And a dirty raincoat, and I thought that's not really our experience of getting to know most people. You get to know people in a public context very often. You meet people at work, and you get to know people through the decisions they make, which is one of the reasons why I had her proposition, the police officer, in episode 1 of season 1, because it's a decision that comes and it makes you think, oh my God, who is this person? I thought she was perhaps one type of person, and now this is happening. But I wanted that to unfold gradually. And one of the things that happened was, whenever there was any suggestion, there was one occasion, for example, where I wrote a phone call with her mother, but we were both very jumpy about that in terms of actually placing her in a class, or what kind of person was her mother, and so on. And Gillian's always been very wedded to the idea that enigmatic quality of Gibson, where you learn about her little by little, was something that she really signed up to right at the beginning, and plays brilliantly, which is that you, as Gillian says, you get more and more insights perhaps, but she doesn't come. It appears that she's not married, it appears that she doesn't have children, but I've always had this notion that if someone walked through the door and called her mother, you would go, oh my God, but you wouldn't, it could happen. I don't say it's going to happen, but it's that thing of...
We sort of act one scene, one enter Godot.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So it's
moment. Kind of, we are judged often by the way we present ourselves, the things we say, things other people say about us, the decisions we make, as much as anything else. And so she makes a whole series of decisions, including, for example, when in series 1, Breedlove shoots himself and Eastwood is at a loss. She takes over and she handles that situation in this incredibly cool, calm fashion, which was my way of saying, look at her in a crisis. This is quite an exceptional person here. And of course showing no kind of female, in inverted commas, responses to this.
So may I quickly ask it's appalling to ask it quickly, but there is the misogyny question that the TV critic from the Mail who called The Fall an invitation to share an extended rape fantasy. Do you think by writing these 6 episodes and you 3 playing them, that criticism will be silenced now?
I would probably doubt it. If someone has such a kind of reductive, simple, simplistic, unnuanced view of something, it's not going to change with another 6 hours of drama. I mean, it's personally insulting. It's something I had to talk to my daughter about, who was, I'm glad to say, counselled me very well about why I should not give it any more thought, because I was very upset by the implications, because after all, whose fantasy would it be but mine? And it was confusing. I think something quite complex about the character of Katie, actually, is probably where it comes from. And but I got, I can think of, for example, someone else who's a TV producer I work with, who's, who wrote to me specifically to talk about the emotional truth that she found in the journey of the character of Katie. So you offset, I try not to read things like that, but you offset some of that with what I know that look, I can't, you can't say that you've never made any errors or you haven't, could have done something better or something different, but I know, because I know myself and I know these guys and I know what we're all about in making the show, is that that's just an absurd comment. And I'm not saying the show isn't open to criticism, because of course it is, but there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that it's adopted a particular view, a particular criticism of patriarchy and the way in which male violence against women sits within the patriarchy. And Gibson's talked about that, discoursed about it endlessly from a feminist perspective, to the point where it seems to not matter what she says, set against what Spectre does. And surely the issue is that Spectre is a misogynistic character, although as he says himself in season 2, I don't hate women, I hate everybody, myself included. And that's perhaps closer to the truth of Spectre, because actually the most violent thing we've ever seen him do is to kill Joe Brawley, So it's that sort of drama, I think. I think it maybe is, quite challenging in its way.
I think it is challenging and disturbing. Questions from the audience, please. You raise your hand and the microphone will...
I don't do it. It's not a very good question. Maybe later.
See what some of the other questions are
Hi,
like, and
thank
then
you for a fabulous
see
TV
what
show,
some of the
really
other
wonderful.
questions are like, and then just-
Question
yeah.
for Gillian Anderson. You've been an icon since the X-Files and a real role model for what women are capable of today. Do you feel a sense of responsibility when you choose roles like the fabulous Stella Gibson?
Yeah, I guess a certain sense of responsibility. I think it does affect the types of roles that I choose, and I think that regardless of that, I'd probably choose the same roles that I choose based on my attraction to the types of female characters I like to play. I don't know if that makes sense.